If you're a tech leader who needs help writing your resume summary statement, you've come to the right place because in this video, I'm going to share the fill in the blank formula that we use with our clients to help them write their most powerful summary statements for their resumes. So I'm going to show that to you. I'm going to show that formula, that Mad Lib style formula in this video. If you don't know me already, I'm Jen Bunk, and I am a career coach for technical leaders. I help tech leaders build your dream career. And in every single video, I'm going to give you practical, tactical, and strategic advice to do just that. By the way, if you need more help with your resume than just the summary statement, just comment resume help below. And what I'll do is shoot you a PDF that outlines our entire PeopleStack resume writing system. But let me go ahead and dive in. And in this video, I am going to share the formula for writing that resume summary statement that's going to appear right around the top of your resume. Some people call it a value statement or an outcome statement. It basically conveys to people, here's who I am as a leader, here's the value and the outcomes that I deliver. And you're going to want something like that near the top of your resume. And so many people get it wrong. I'm going to explain how people get it wrong, and I'll show you the right way to do it. So actually what I'm going to do, for those of you who are PeopleStack Accelerator clients, by the way, our next PeopleStack Accelerator, this is our signature program. PeopleStack Accelerator cohort starts this Thursday. It's the winter 2025 cohort. If you want in, just go to thepeoplestack.com/accelerator. So for those of you who are in it already, just go to week 1, gain clarity, part 1, and then it's under build your excellence. At least I'm 95% sure that it is. Yeah. So for those of you who are already PeopleStack clients, it's within the write your mission statement. So for those of you who aren't PeopleStack clients, the process that we walk our clients through is first write a mission statement. And then that's going to make writing your resume so much easier. So anyway, it's within this training. I'm not going to show you the whole training because this is just for clients. But what I will fast forward to is the section right here. So if your client, PeopleStack client, this looks familiar to you, this is part of your mission statement. And then this is that part that we then copy pasted to your resume. For those of you who aren't clients or clients yet, this is the formula. This is the formula. I lead blank to blank so that we can help blank. That's the formula for writing a really badass, powerful summary statement in your resume. And what it's going to do is it's going to turn readers into advocates. That's the whole idea with a resume, is you want to turn readers, someone who's reading, just simply reading your resume, into your advocate. Wow, I want to get on board with that mission. Wow, that's awesome. I'm going to help you land this job. Whether that's like the hiring manager, a friend of the hiring manager, someone that you know, a colleague, whoever it might be, they look at your resume and they're like, wow, what an awesome mission. What an awesome value statement. Look at how clear you are. You've done the work. You know who you lead, what you lead them to do, and what outcomes you lead them to. So I want you to look at, if you already have a summary statement right now, in your resume, I want you to look at it and I want you to see how close it is to following this formula. If you're not a PeopleStack client and you've not done work yet on your resume, it's probably not close to that. If you've hired a resume writer, maybe it's close to that. But some resume writers are great. Like if you were to just hire a resume writer, like, yes, obviously we help. We're resume writers, but we're way more than that too. Some people are just resume writers and some people, they're great at that. But some people lead people astray and it's just all about the skills. Like I've seen some horrific resumes lately where it's just like a list of skills. No. N to the O, no. You got to have a statement like this. So just to give you a few pointers, so I actually want to finish that sentence, then I'll give you, I want to add a because, and then I will give you the pointers on how to fill this out. Why is this so important? Because if you don't have this, you're not going to get to the top of the virtual pile. If you don't have this, you're not going to have true advocates. If you don't have this, you're not going to know whether or not you're actually putting all of your effort into what is actually a job that you want versus a job that just pays the bills. You don't want just a job that pays the bills. You want a job that is aligned with like your mission, your true purpose on this earth. And yeah, you're going to get paid too. You're going to get paid a lot to do that. The more specific that you can be and the more confident that you can be in saying, this is what I'm about, this specific niche, none of that stuff, the higher in the salary that you're going to command. So yes, confidence is a piece of this as well. If you haven't yet joined our confidence course, and confidence is a big piece of this for you, it's a one-time payment, and I keep the price relatively low. Just go to thepeoplestack.com/confidence, and we have a course on that. It's actually our best-selling course at this point. And I use quotes just in terms of like, how do you even like measure that? But anyway, go to thepeoplestack.com/confidence to check that out, because confidence plays a huge role here. Some of you aren't landing a job. It's not because of your resume, it's because of confidence. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole in this particular video, but a rabbit hole that I do want to go down a little bit further is, how do you feel this out? Like, what does this even look like? So actually, let me give you an example. I'm going to show you Rob's LinkedIn profile. So this is my husband, co-CEO at The People Stack. He followed this formula just so we can have an example to sort of like latch onto. It's being slow. Here we go. Yes, he's a first degree connection. He is my husband after all. All right. So just to show you like what this looks like in action. And by the way, this is where you put it in LinkedIn too, if you're curious. I lead mission-driven organizations to solve do or die impossible problems while turning chaotic teams into solid professional powerhouses regardless of text. That's an example of what it looks like in action. So let me go back here. I lead. This is where you're going to describe the kinds of teams that you lead. As a first draft, it's like, okay, I lead software teams. Okay, great. I lead data teams. I lead tech teams. Most of you do that. But for some of you, it's going to be, especially if you're higher level, it's going to be organizations. Right. So especially if you're if you're at the VP or the C level, it's going to be more about organizations. I lead these kind of organizations. If you're at the manager, senior manager, director-ish kind of level, it's going to be I lead these kind of teams. Get descriptive. Do not be afraid to go niche here. So here's where you're going to describe the kinds of teams or the kinds of organizations that you lead. 2, what do you help them? What do you lead them to do? What's the team level outcome? Or in this case, the organization, or in the case of if you're a C-level VP, like the organizational level outcome. What do I lead them to do? So what's the mid-level, organizational level, team level outcome? 2, solve do or die impossible problems. Like it's a summary of the process. So we're going to get a little bit processing here, but you're not going to dive too much into the weeds. This is about, sort of the day-to-day. Like, this is what I do on a day-to-day basis. Like, I lead teams to build software. Like, so for some of you, you might do that. I lead teams to crunch data, to crunch numbers. Like, that might be the place where you start, but you want to get super specific. Super specific. In other words, that may be a stretch. So like for some of you, you're going to want to get super specific, but for some of you, you're actually going to want to do something more like Rob did, which is like solve do or die impossible problems. But please do not just copy paste Rob's, by the way. Like, this is Rob's mission. If you try to go and like use this, like, it's not going to work because it's not your mission. Like, really feel into this, but I'm just giving it as an example. So it's like on a day-to-day basis, what kind of problems, you can use that as a way of kind of thinking about this. What kind of problems are you and the team in the organization helping people solve? You can certainly do it that way. But it's also like, what kind of actions are we taking? Are we building software? Are we crunching numbers for data? Are we building systems? Like, what is it? There's going to be a verb here. Strong action verbs belong in the resume. Absolutely, totally agree with that. Then it's so that we can help blank. This is the higher level purpose, vision, outcome. So that we can help. Rob didn't do it exactly that way, but that's fine. So it's turning chaotic teams into solid professional powerhouses, regardless of tech stack. So that we can turn chaotic teams into solid professional powerhouses. This is this is your vision statement. It's like, here's how I know we've won. I know we've won because we've gone from chaotic team to solid professional powerhouse. So what is it for you? So that we can, or so that we can help, sometimes so that we can, or so that we can help. Usually it's some form of service, but so help can be a useful verb to use here, or it's just so that we can turn chaotic teams into solid professional powerhouses. So it's at an organizational level, but some of you are going to want to go broader than that. At a societal level, what's your vision? How do you know you're winning? And be juicy here. It's got to be juicy, right? So, like, this is the juicy version of Rob's. Like, you feel it. It's like, wow, yeah, that's amazing. I love it. And Rob has confidence he can do this. He's got the receipts to prove that he can do this. He's also built his confidence as well. But like, some of you might have a similar-ish, or let's just say, are doing similar things that Rob is doing, but it's not juicy enough. And so that's why you're not getting any hits. And that's why people are like, meh, I'll pass. I'll work with somebody else. Or let's just say Rob of maybe 5-10 years ago, when you didn't have the confidence and you didn't have the skill to be able to write this kind of statement, it might sound like, I lead organizations to solve problems so that we can, I can't even do it at this point. I'm so well practiced at the juicy part. Like, I lead organizations to solve problems so that we could make more money. Right. Like, so I lead organizations to solve problems so that the tech doesn't break. Like, really get honest with yourself. Some of you, I have mission statements or value statements, and that kind of shit is on your resume. It needs to come off. Like, if it does not sizzle when you put it in the pan, in other words, if it does not make your heart skip a beat, if it does not give you chills, if it doesn't make you actually a little bit scary, like, holy shit, like, I actually do that and I have the receipts, but I'm a little bit scared to get in the ring to do this, that's actually the feeling that you want. Like, just to give another example, our value statement sort of follows the PeopleStack value statement follows that as well. I lead blank to blank so that we can help blank. But I actually made it even more concise, because even more concise can be even more powerful. It's I help, right? And so you can play with changing I lead to I help, but all of you are leaders, so I encourage you to use that lead here. But as a business owner, as a career coach, I actually don't need technical leaders. Help technical leaders to build their dream careers. And that's still, to this day, almost 10 years later, it's like, wow, yeah, it's a big promise there. Like, my brain's like, that's a big promise there, Jen. You sure you can do that? You know what I mean? But then immediately it's like, oh, I got the receipts to prove it. You want to see my testimonials? You know what I mean? But it's got to invoke that, wow, I'm going to go big or go home. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you still land among the stars. That's what that value statement, that summary statement in your resume needs to evoke. It's actually what your whole resume needs to evoke. So now that you have the formula for writing a kick-ass summary statement, value statement, again, if you need more help, just like outlining and following a proven process to making sure your entire resume kicks ass, comment resume help below and I will send you that outline. And it's based on the exact process that we've used with our very successful technical leader clients. Yeah, so that's what it's about, folks. Go big or go home, shoot for the moon. Maybe you miss, but does that really matter? You're still going to end up in the stars. It's okay.